Hi, students, let's get started with the subject Science, Chapter 10. Work and Energy. In the previous few chapters, we have talked about ways of describing the motion of objects, the cause of motion, and gravitation. Another concept that helps us understand and interpret many natural phenomena is work. Closely related to work are energy and power. In this chapter, we shall study these concepts. All living beings need food. Living beings have to perform several basic activities to survive. We call such activities life processes. The energy for these processes comes from food. We need energy for other activities like playing, singing, reading, writing, thinking, jumping, cycling, and running. Activities that are strenuous require more energy. Animals to get engaged in activities. For example, they may jump and run. They have to fight, move away from enemies, find food, or find a safe place to live. Also, we engage some animals to lift weights, carry loads, pull carts, or plow fields. All such activities require energy. Think of machines. List the machines that you have come across. What do they need for their working? Why do some engines require fuel like petrol and diesel? Why do living beings and machines need energy? 10.1 Work. What is work? There is a difference in the way we use the term work in day-to-day life and the way we use it in science. 10.1.1 Not much work. In spite of working hard, Kamli is preparing for examinations. She spends lot of time in studies. She reads books, draws diagrams, organizes her thoughts, collects question papers, attends classes, discusses problems with her friends, and performs experiments. She expends a lot of energy on these activities. In common parlance, she is working hard. All this hard work may involve very little work if we go by the scientific definition of work. You are working hard to push a huge rock. Let us say the rock does not move despite all the effort. You get completely exhausted. However, you have not done any work on the rock as there is no displacement of the rock. You stand still for a few minutes with a heavy load on your head. You get tired. You have exerted yourself and have spent quite a bit of your energy. Are you doing work on the load? The way we understand the term work in science, work is not done. You climb up the steps of a staircase and reach the second floor of a building just to see the landscape from there. You may even climb up a tall tree. If we apply the scientific definition, these activities involve a lot of work. In day-to-day life, we consider any useful physical or mental labor as work. Activities like playing in a field, talking with friends, humming a tune, watching a movie, attending a function are sometimes not considered to be work. What constitutes work depends on the way we define it. We use and define the term work differently in science. 10.1.2 Scientific conception of work. To understand the way we view work and define work from the point of view of science, let us consider some situations. Push a pebble lying on a surface. The pebble moves through a distance. You exerted a force on the pebble and the pebble got displaced. In this situation, work is done. A girl pulls a trolley and the trolley moves through a distance. The girl has exerted a force on the trolley and it is displaced. Therefore, work is done. Lift a book through a height. To do this, you must apply a force. The book rises up. there is a force applied on the book and the book has moved. Hence, work is done. A closer look at the above situations reveals that two conditions need to be satisfied for work to be done. I. A force should act on an object, and 2. The object must be displaced. If any one of the above conditions does not exist, work is not done. This is the way we view work in science. A bullock is pulling a cart. The cart moves. There is a force on the cart and the cart has moved. Do you think that work is done in this situation? 10.1.3 Work done by a constant force. How is work defined in science? To understand this, we shall first consider the case when the force is acting in the direction of displacement. Let a constant force, F, act on an object. Let the object be displaced through a distance, S, in the direction of the force. Let W be the work done. We define work to be equal to the product of the force and displacement. Work done is equal to force times displacement. Thus, work done by a force acting on an object is equal to the magnitude of the force multiplied by the distance moved in the direction of the force. Work has only magnitude and no direction. If F is equal to 1 n and S is equal to 1 meter, then the work done by the force will be 1 nm. Here the unit of work is Newton meter, Nm, or joule, J. Thus 1 joule is the amount of work done on an object when a force of 1 n displaces it by 1 meter along the line of action of the force. What is the work done when the force on the object is 0? What would be the work done when the displacement of the object is 0? Refer to the conditions that are to be satisfied to say that work is done. Consider another situation in which the force and the displacement are in the same direction, a baby pulling a toy car parallel to the ground. The baby has exerted a force in the direction of displacement of the car. In this situation, the work done will be equal to the product of the force and displacement. In such situations, the work done by the force is taken as positive. Consider a situation in which an object is moving with a uniform velocity along a particular direction. Now a retarding force, F, is applied in the opposite direction. That is, the angle between the two directions is 180. Let the object stop after a displacement S. In such a situation, the work done by the force, F, is taken as negative and denoted by the minus sign. The work done by the force is F times S or F times S. It is clear from the above discussion that the work done by a force can be either positive or negative. 10.2 Energy. Life is impossible without energy. The demand for energy is ever increasing. Where do we get energy from? The sun is the biggest natural source of energy to us. Many of our energy sources are derived from the sun. We can also get energy from the nuclei of atoms, the interior of the earth, and the tides. Can you think of other sources of energy? The word energy is very often used in our daily life, but in science we give it a definite and precise meaning. Let us consider the following examples. When a fast-moving cricket ball hits a stationary wicket, the wicket is thrown away. Similarly, an object when raised to a certain height gets the capability to do work. You must have seen that when a raised hammer falls on a nail placed on a piece of wood, it drives the nail into the wood. We have also observed children winding a toy, such as a toy car, and when the toy is placed on the floor, it starts moving. When a balloon is filled with air and we press it, we notice a change in its shape. As long as we press it gently, It can come back to its original shape when the force is withdrawn. However, if we press the balloon hard, it can even explode, producing a blasting sound. In all these examples, the objects acquire, through different means, the capability of doing work. An object having a capability to do work is said to possess energy. The object which does the work loses energy, and the object on which the work is done gains energy. How does an object with energy do work? An object that possesses energy can exert a force on another object. When this happens, energy is transferred from the former to the latter. The second object may move as it receives energy and therefore do some work. Thus, the first object had a capacity to do work. This implies that any object that possesses energy can do work. The energy possessed by an object is thus measured in terms of its capacity of doing work. The unit of energy is, therefore, the same as that of work, that is, joule, J. 1 joule is the energy required to do 1 joule of work. Sometimes a larger unit of energy called kilojoule, kJ, is used. 1 kJ equals 1000 joules. 10.2.1 forms of energy. Luckily, the world we live in provides energy in many different forms. The various forms include mechanical energy, potential energy plus kinetic energy, heat energy, chemical energy, electrical energy, and light energy. James Prescott Joule was an outstanding British physicist. He is best known for his research in electricity and thermodynamics. Amongst other things, he formulated a law for the heating effect of electric current. He also verified experimentally the law of conservation of energy and discovered the value of the mechanical equivalent of heat. The unit of energy and work called joule is named after him. 10.2.2 kinetic energy. A moving object can do work. An object moving faster can do more work than an identical object moving relatively slow. A moving bullet, blowing wind, a rotating wheel, a speeding stone can do work. How does a bullet pierce the target? How does the wind move the blades of a windmill? Objects in motion possess energy. We call this energy kinetic energy. A falling coconut, a speeding car, a rolling stone, a flying aircraft, flowing water, blowing wind, a running athlete, etc. possess kinetic energy. In short, kinetic energy is the energy possessed by an object due to its motion. The kinetic energy of an object increases with its speed. How much energy is possessed by a moving body by virtue of its motion? By definition, we say that the kinetic energy of a body moving with a certain velocity is equal to the work done on it to make it acquire that velocity. Let us now express the kinetic energy of an object in the form of an equation. Consider an object of mass, m moving with a uniform velocity, u. Let it now be displaced through a distance s when a constant force, F, acts on it in the direction of its displacement. The work done, W, is Fs. The work done on the object will cause a change in its velocity. Let its velocity change from u to v. Let be the acceleration produced. We studied 3 equations of motion. The relation connecting the initial velocity, u, and final velocity, v, of an object moving with a uniform acceleration a, and the displacement, s is v to u2 is equal to 2as tau due to the work done on the object. The energy transferred to an object is stored as potential energy if it is not used to cause a change in the velocity or speed of the object. You transfer energy when you stretch a rubber band. The energy transferred to the band is its potential energy. You do work while winding the key of a toy car. The energy transferred to the spring inside is stored as potential energy. The potential energy possessed by the object is the energy present in it by virtue of its position or configuration. 10.2.4 Potential energy of an object at a height. An object increases its energy when raised through a height. This is because work is done on it against gravity while it is being raised. The energy present in such an object is the gravitational potential energy. The gravitational potential energy of an object at a point above the ground is defined as the work done in raising it from the ground to that point against gravity. It is easy to arrive at an expression for the gravitational potential energy of an object at a height. Consider an object of mass, m. Let it be raised through a height, h from the ground. A force is required to do this. The minimum force required to raise the object is equal to the weight of the object, mg. The object gains energy equal to the work done on it. Let the work done on the object against gravity be W. That is, it is useful to note that the work done by gravity depends on the difference in vertical heights of the initial and final positions of the object and not on the path along which the object is moved. Where a block is raised from position A to B by taking two different paths, let the height up is equal to h. In both the situations, the work done on the object is mgh. 10.2.6 Law of Conservation of Energy. We learned that the form of energy can be changed from one form to another. What happens to the total energy of a system during or after the process? Whenever energy gets transformed, the total energy remains unchanged. This is the law of conservation of energy. According to this law, energy can only be converted from one form to another. It can neither be created or destroyed. The total energy before and after the transformation remains the same. The law of conservation of energy is valid in all situations and for all kinds of transformations. Consider a simple example. Let an object of mass, m, be made to fall freely from a height, h. At the start, the potential energy is mgh and kinetic energy is 0. Why is the kinetic energy 0? It is 0 because its velocity is 0. The total energy of the object is thus mgh. As it falls, its potential energy will change into kinetic energy. If v is the velocity of the object at a given instant, the kinetic energy would be 1 to mv2. As the fall of the object continues, the potential energy would decrease while the kinetic energy would increase. When the object is about to reach the ground, h is equal to 0 and v will be the highest. Therefore, the kinetic energy would be the largest and potential energy the least. However, the sum of the potential energy and kinetic energy of the object would be the same at all points. That is, potential energy plus kinetic energy is equal to constant or 1 constant. To 2 mgh plus mv is equal to 10.7. The sum of kinetic energy and potential energy of an object is its total mechanical energy. We find that during the free fall of the object, the decrease in potential energy at any point in its path appears as an equal amount of increase in kinetic energy. Here the effect of air resistance on the motion of the object has been ignored. There is thus a continual transformation of gravitational potential energy into kinetic energy. 10.3 Rate of doing work. Do all of us work at the same rate? Do machines consume or transfer energy at the same rate? Agents that transfer energy do work at different rates. A stronger person may do certain work in relatively less time. A more powerful vehicle would complete a journey in a shorter time than a less powerful one. We talk of the power of machines like motorbikes and motorcars. The speed with which these vehicles change energy or do work is a basis for their classification. Power measures the speed of work done, that is, how fast or slow work is done. Power is defined as the rate of doing work or the rate of transfer of energy. If an agent does a work W in time t, then power is power is equal to work time or WP is equal to T. 10.8 The unit of power is watt. In honor of James Watt, 1736 to 1819, having the symbol W. 1 watt is the power of an agent, which does work at the rate of 1 joule per second. We can also say that power is 1 watt when the rate of consumption of energy is 1 joule S1. 1 watt is equal to 1 joule second or 1 watt equals 1 joule S1. We express larger rates of energy transfer in kilowatts, kW. 1 kilowatt is equal to 1000 watts, 1 kilowatt equals 1000 watts, 1 kilowatt equals 1000 joules S1. The power of an agent may vary with time. This means that the agent may be doing work at different rates at different intervals of time. Therefore, the concept of average power is useful. We obtain average power by dividing the total energy consumed by the total time taken. Thanks for watching.